Arrival with the wrong belief. Ahmed had closed deals in cities where buildings touched. The clouds and people barely looked into each other's eyes. He believed in numbers, contracts, deadlines, and control. For him, business was simple: offer more, gain more. Africa to him was just another opportunity. As the plane landed, Ahmed looked out of the window at the vast red land, stretching endlessly under the golden sun. The air felt heavier, warmer, different. But difference never worried him. He had come prepared. His briefcase carried documents, legal papers, investment plans, and signatures waiting to happen. "This will be quick," he whispered to himself. Everyone had told him the same thing before he arrived. The land is rich, but the people are complicated. Ahmed smiled at that warning. People in his experience were always predictable. He was driven straight to a small town where his local contact arranged a meeting with Baba Nkiru, one of the most respected elders and traders of the region. Baba Nkiru was not wealthy by modern standards, but nothing moved in that land without his blessing. Ahmed entered the compound confidently. No guards, no offices, just a large tree casting shade over a few wooden stools. Baba Nkiru stood up slowly. His hair was gray, his eyes calm, and his presence strangely heavy. He shook Ahmed's hand firmly and smiled, but said nothing. Ahmed wasted no time. "I'm here to invest," he said, opening his briefcase. "I have strong offers, fair terms, and everything documented." He placed the papers between them, neatly arranged. Baba Nkiru looked at Ahmed, then at the papers, then back at Ahmed. He did not touch a single page. Instead, he called out softly, and a young boy appeared with 2 cups of tea. "Drink," Baba Nkiru said gently. Ahmed hesitated. Time was money, but he took the cup. Minutes passed in silence. No questions, no negotiations. Finally, Ahmed cleared his throat. "Shall we discuss the business?" Baba Nkiru smiled again, this time deeper. "Tomorrow," he said. "Today we watch." "Watch what?" Ahmed asked. Baba Nkiru looked toward the village, where people moved slowly, greeting one another, sharing food, laughter, and burdens. "We watch the man," he replied. Before we talk about the deal, Ahmed felt something unfamiliar tighten inside him. For the first time in his career, his documents meant nothing, and he didn't yet know it. But Africa had already begun its test. Where time was not for sale, Ahmed woke up early the next morning, his mind already racing ahead of the day. In his world, mornings were for meetings, schedules, and decisions that moved money. He checked his watch more times than he could count. Baba Nkiru had said tomorrow, and Ahmed expected that tomorrow would finally bring business. But Africa moved differently. When Ahmed arrived at Baba Nkiru's compound, there was no sign of urgency. The old man sat under the same large tree, calmly repairing a worn sandal with his own hands. Children laughed nearby. Women passed carrying baskets. Life flowed slowly, like a river that had never learned the language of haste. Ahmed greeted him politely and waited. Minutes turned into an hour. No papers, no discussion, only silence and small talk with strangers who asked about Ahmed's journey, his family, and his health, questions no client had ever asked him before. Finally, Ahmed couldn't contain himself. "Baba," he said carefully, "I came a long way for this meeting." Baba Nkiru looked up from his work and smiled. "And we are happy you arrived safely," he replied. That was all. Soon after, Baba stood and gestured for Ahmed to follow. They walked through the village together. People greeted Baba with respect, some touching his shoulder, others bowing their heads slightly. Baba stopped often, listening to complaints, settling small arguments, sharing advice. Ahmed watched silently. This was not inefficiency. This was responsibility. At midday, they sat beneath another tree. Baba shared a simple meal with Ahmed. No plates, no formality. Just food, shared by hand. "You eat alone where you come from?" Baba asked. Ahmed hesitated. "Usually, yes." Baba nodded slowly. "Here, we eat together." A man who eats alone thinks alone. The word stayed with Ahmed longer than he expected. Later, as the sun leaned westward, Ahmed finally asked, "When will we discuss the land?" Baba Nkiru looked at him with calm eyes. "Tell me first," he said, "why do you want it?" Ahmed gave the answer he had practiced: profit, growth, opportunity. Baba listened without interruption. When Ahmed finished, Baba said quietly, "You speak well, but I still do not know you." Ahmed frowned. "You know my offer." Baba shook his head. "I know your numbers," he said, "but not your heart." As the day ended without a single mention of contracts, Ahmed felt frustration rise within him, yet beneath it was something else, confusion mixed with curiosity. For the first time, he wondered if his watch was measuring the wrong kind of time. And Africa, patient and unbothered, continued to wait. The African way of knowing a man. The third day did not begin with a meeting. It began with a walk. Baba and Kiro met Ahmed at sunrise, holding a wooden walking stick smoothed by years of use. Without explanation, he turned toward the dirt path leading out of the village. Ahmed followed, unsure of where they were going or why. They walked past small homes built from earth and tin. Smoke rose gently from morning fires. Children ran barefoot, laughing without reason. Old women sat outside their doors, weaving baskets and watching the world as if they had seen it all before. "This is our wealth," Baba and Kiro said quietly, gesturing around him. Ahmed looked again. He saw no banks, no offices, no machines, only people. They reached the fields, where farmers worked the soil, with tired hands and patient hearts. Baba stopped often, asking about crops, rain, and family. He listened more than he spoke. Ahmed noticed how people spoke honestly in Baba's presence, without fear or flattery. As they continued walking, Baba finally asked, "In your land, how do you measure a man?" Ahmed answered quickly, "By results, by success." Baba nodded. "And if a man has results but no mercy?" Ahmed didn't respond. Baba bent down, picked up a handful of dry soil, and let it fall slowly through his fingers. "This land looks poor," he said, "but it feeds many. A man is the same." The words settled heavily in Ahmed's chest. Later that afternoon, they came across a group of boys arguing loudly near a broken water well. Tempers flared. Voices rose. Baba stopped and waited. He did not interfere. He simply watched, just as he had been watching Ahmed since the first day. Ahmed felt uncomfortable. In his world, conflict demanded authority, control, immediate action. But here, patience came first. Finally, Baba stepped forward and spoke calmly. His voice carried no force, yet everyone listened. He resolved the dispute not by choosing sides, but by reminding them of shared hunger, shared land, and shared future. The boys lowered their heads. The argument ended. As they walked away, Baba said, "Power shouts. Wisdom listens." Ahmed felt something inside him shift. No contract had ever taught him that. That evening, Ahmed sat alone, watching the sky turn deep orange and purple. For the first time, he did not open his briefcase. He did not check his phone. Instead, he thought about the people he had seen, the silence he had felt, and the questions Baba never rushed. He realized then that Baba was not delaying the deal. He was studying the man behind it. And Africa, once again, was asking Ahmed a question he had never learned to answer. Who are you when no one is counting? The test without words. The test came quietly. There was no warning, no announcement, no moment that felt important at first. That was how Baba and Kiro preferred it. True tests, he believed, should arrive uninvited, so a man could not prepare a mask. That afternoon, Baba and Ahmed walked through a narrow path near the edge of the village. The sun burned overhead, and the air felt thick with dust and heat. They spoke little. Silence had begun to feel natural now. Ahead of them, an old man struggled under the weight of a sack tied to his back. His steps were uneven, his breath shallow. Baba slowed his pace. Suddenly, the old man stumbled. The sack fell. So did he? He hit the ground hard. People nearby looked up but did not rush forward. In this land, help was never rushed. It was observed first. Baba stopped. He said nothing. He did nothing. Ahmed felt his heart tighten. In his world, hesitation meant liability, risk, but something deeper moved him before his thoughts could organize. He stepped forward. He knelt beside the old man, lifting the sack off his shoulders. Dust covered Ahmed's hands. Sweat soaked his shirt. He spoke gently, offering water, steadying the trembling body until the man could sit. The old man looked up, confused, then grateful. He whispered words Ahmed did not understand, but their meaning was clear. Ahmed did not look around. He did not seek approval. He simply helped. Behind him, Baba watched. Not a blink, not a word. When the old man finally stood, supported by others, Baba turned and continued walking as if nothing had happened. Ahmed followed, his heart beating faster than before. They walked for several minutes in silence. Then Baba spoke. "Why did you help him?" Ahmed answered honestly. "Because he needed it." Baba nodded. "And if no one was watching?" "I would still help," Ahmed said. Baba stopped walking. He looked at Ahmed for a long moment. A long, heavy moment that felt like standing before a judge without knowing the charge. Finally, Baba spoke softly. "Many men help when they are seen," he said. "Few help when they are not." They resumed walking. But Ahmed felt different now, lighter, as if something unspoken had been accepted. That evening, Baba did not invite Ahmed for tea. He did not ask questions. He simply said, "Tomorrow we talk." For the first time, Ahmed did not feel impatient. He felt ready. And far beneath the surface of red soil and ancient trees, Africa had made its decision, without signatures, without witnesses, without words. When the heart wins. The following morning, Ahmed awoke with a strange anticipation. He had begun to feel Africa's rhythm, the slow, deliberate pace of life, where every gesture, every glance, every silence carried meaning. He no longer thought in hours or deadlines. He thought in patience and observation. Baba and Kiro met him outside, leaning against the familiar large tree, his eyes calm, as if the world had always been exactly as it should be. Today, Baba said, "We speak." Ahmed felt his heart beat faster. Finally, he thought the deal would begin. But Baba did not pull out papers. He did not demand figures or plans. Instead, he began to tell stories. Stories of the land, the people, and the mistakes of those who came seeking only profit. Stories of traders who had money but no honesty, and how they left empty-handed. Stories of generosity, courage, and integrity, the currency of this place. Ahmed listened, captivated. He realized that everything he had believed about business was incomplete. Deals were not made in offices alone. Deals were made in hearts. Then Baba spoke directly. "Ahmed, you helped the old man yesterday. You did not do it for reward. You did it because it was right. That is what this land asks of those who wish to own it." Ahmed swallowed. It was true. He had acted before thinking. No contracts, no approval, no audience. Only instinct. Only compassion. Baba smiled, slowly shaking his head. "You have passed the first test. Many come with money and ambition. Few come with heart." Ahmed felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He had been tested not for his skills, not for his plans, but for his humanity. They walked through the village together. People greeted Baba warmly, and for the first time, Ahmed realized they were not just observing him. They were observing him in relation to the world around him. Every action mattered. Every choice reflected the kind of man he was. As the sun began its descent, Baba finally gestured toward Ahmed. "Come, sit." Under the shade of the large tree, Baba handed him a cup of tea. No papers, no contracts, no signatures. "Do you see now?" Baba asked. "Here, the deal begins with the heart. Everything else follows." Ahmed nodded silently. The land, the people, the stories, all of it had taught him a lesson he would never forget. True business is not measured in profit alone, but in the trust, respect, and humanity shared along the way. As evening fell, Ahmed watched the horizon. He felt humbled. He felt alive. He felt ready. Africa had won a piece of his heart. And in return, it had promised him a place in its world, one earned, not bought. The deal that was signed on the heart. The next morning, the sun rose over the red African soil, soft and golden. Ahmed stood beneath the familiar tree, his briefcase now unopened, his mind unburdened. He realized he had learned more about business in the last few days than in years of contracts and meetings. Baba and Kiro approached, leaning lightly on his walking stick. His eyes were gentle, but they held the weight of countless years and countless decisions. "Ahmed," he said softly, "you have seen the land, the people, the village. You have acted without expectation. Now it is time to speak of the deal." Ahmed nodded, bracing himself for numbers, contracts, signatures. Baba smiled and held out his hand. "No papers," he said. "No ink, no formalities. The deal is here." Ahmed looked down at the offered hand, then around at the village he had begun to love, the children, the farmers, the old man he had helped. And for the first time he understood. The land, the deal, the wealth. It was never about ownership alone. It was about trust, character, compassion. Ahmed stepped forward and shook Baba's hand firmly. At that moment he felt the true meaning of partnership. It was not written. It could not be bought. It had to be earned. Baba's eyes crinkled into a smile. In other lands, men trade paper and promises. Here we trade hearts, and only those who honor humanity may prosper. Ahmed nodded, a tear forming in his eye, not of sadness, but of gratitude. He realized that he had come to Africa seeking land, but Africa had given him a lesson far greater. Business is nothing without humanity. Deals are worthless without trust, and a man is richest when his heart is intact. As he walked through the village that evening, Ahmed no longer saw just the buildings, the fields, or the markets. He saw a community bound by respect, patience, and integrity. He saw people whose wealth was measured not in coins, but in character. He finally understood the African truth that had eluded him. In Africa, business does not come first. First you are known. First you are trusted. Only then does the deal exist. Ahmed smiled, feeling a quiet strength in his chest. He had come as a foreigner seeking opportunity, but he would leave as a man reborn, one who understood the true value of people, place and purpose. Under the vast, endless sky, with the village alive around him and the land stretching endlessly before him, Ahmed knew that this was a deal he would carry with him forever. A deal signed not on paper, not with signatures, not with numbers, but on the heart,